Hi, my name is Billy D'Addario. Welcome to my blog. Not to my blog, but welcome to my video channel. Hi. Today we're going to talk about writing and the healthy mind. And I'm going to make a confession. Every night before I go to bed, I take 3 different types of antidepressant or anti-anxiety medications to help me make it through the day. And I have for a number of years. I've been depressed or fighting depression since I was a kid. It was undiagnosed for many years. And then for many years after that, even though doctors were telling me that I was depressed and that I needed medication for it, I denied it. It's only been, probably the past 8 or so years that I've been taking medicine for my depression. And I'm really glad now that I've started taking my medicine that I take it, because it's really been very beneficial. The statistics are that 8% of writers have some kind of mental instability. Some very famous writers have had mental disabilities, including Sylvia Plath, who at 32 killed herself. Virginia Woolf, who famously put stones in her pockets and walked into the middle of a lake and drowned. And then, of course, there's Ernest Hemingway, who killed himself after receiving electric shock treatments and that were successful to some extent, but then became less and less successful, and he ultimately killed himself. In fact, all 3 of those people sought mental health help before they killed themselves. Unfortunately, they didn't have the ability to get the type of chemical mood stabilizers that we have now, unfortunately. Studies suggest that creative people are more likely to have mood disorders. Another explanation for this finding is that creativity creates mood disorders as a byproduct of the lifestyle required in many creative fields. Can be punishing. For example, the flow state that we all desire, getting in that flow state where you're just so heavily concentrating and the words are coming out so quickly, and you're just typing away and the words are coming out. To get into that flow state, it mimics in the brain, it mimics the same state as schizophrenia. And staying in that state for a prolonged period of time is going to cause some mental problems. But the biggest myth is that we have to suffer for our art. We don't actually have to suffer for our art. Creativity is just it's true, according to Kay Redfield Jamison, writer of Touched with Fire, writers are 8 times more likely to suffer from a mental illness than those who don't pursue writing as a career. I touched on that earlier, and I said it wrong, but it's 8 times more likely. Writing as a profession tends to create a situation perfect for making a bad situation worse for those who suffer, and an invitation to suffer for those who don't. The work is solitary. You get tempted to work weird hours. You give up your sleep. It's a sedentary job. It's easy to fall into poor eating habits. It's filled with rejection and self-criticism. So those are things that all lumped together can create a situation where you're more likely to make your depression or your anxiety worse if you have it, or if you don't have anxiety or depression, to invite anxiety or depression to come and visit it upon yourself if you don't already have it. Like having a life jacket before you start to drown, or a fire extinguisher before you have a fire. To have a plan to deal with your depression or anxiety before it arrives is a great way to keep it away. Take it from me. Once you deal with depression, it's a big enough to knock you off your game. So stay in the game by being social, by making sure that you're eating a diet filled with good vegetables and lots of fruit, making sure that you're eating a colorful diet, lots of orange and red and purple and green vegetables and fruits, making sure that you're getting enough vitamin C, making sure that you're getting enough daylight, enough vitamin D from the sun and from milk, from dairy product, staying away from sugar, and making sure that you're limiting your wine, your alcohol, and your caffeine, because those can create a false high, and then when you come down, it can cause a crash that's bad for your brain. Make sure that you're keeping regular office hours. So make sure that you're working for like 9 to 5 or whatever, and make sure that at the end of the day, that's the end of your day, that you're not adding to your hours by working extra hours and working weird hours. So that way, make sure that you're choosing 8 hours, 7 to 4:30, or 7 to 4, or 8 to 5, or 9 to 5, or whatever you choose, 10 to 6, but making sure you're working 8 hours and then giving yourself plenty of time to rest your brain. Get at least 6 hours of sleep at night. 8 is even better, but make sure you're getting at least 6. Make sure you get enough exercise, going for an hour's walk or swim, just to get the body moving. Staying away from processed food. Make sure that when you set goals, that you're setting goals that you have control over. Instead of setting goals, that you're going to get a certain publisher or get a certain agent, set your goals more realistically and base them on what you can control. Say your goal is going to be, I'm going to send out 15 query letters, or I'm going to write 2 books a year, or something like that. Those are things that you can control. You can't necessarily control, how many books you're going to sell. You can control the quality of your books, and you can control how many books you write, but you can't necessarily control how many books you sell, because you don't have control over that. You don't have control over which agent chooses you, because some of that has to do with luck and the market and things like that, things that you don't have control over. So keep that in mind. As always, take care of your soul through journaling, meditation, positive affirmations, aromatherapy, bubble bath, and whatever other things fill your soul with joy. And whatever those things are, share them with me in the comments section below. And have a wonderful day. Remember that I love you, and put your message in the blank below. Share this video with your friends. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe today, and bye.